What's up, guys? How's the audio coming through? All right, we'll go ahead and get started, man. So this is how the top from last week turned out. I think it turned out all right. Not perfect, but I don't know if that green's coming through in the camera, but that's my favorite part. Is the color shift. It's coming through a little bit, but that's what we did last time. So we're gonna do one from scratch today. Last week I put down a kind of a black backdrop that I did off camera, and you didn't get to see the whole process. So we're going to do the whole process this time. What's up, Proto? Can you hear me okay? Nice. All right, thanks for the heads up. All right, we'll just go ahead and get started, man. Someone mentioned that they wanted to see kind of a marble, like a white marble effect. So we're going to try and do that today. And G-Lantern sent me some pigment, so we're going to try and use that today too. That is the Chromex Torella. So we're going to try and use that and see if we can kind of get some like marbling lines in that. I think that'd look pretty cool. As always, we're going to start with our 2-part resin. And I suppose it's just us now, but every stream is someone's first stream, right? Or so they say. So I'll go ahead and explain what we're doing here. We're making custom tops for the Quartercade, which is a PC console hybrid. We are has a Kickstarter that's live right now. And each of the tops are made by me, custom, by hand, here in Arizona. So, we only got 3 colors today, but I think we're going to mix up about 120. And that's more than I usually do. But when you do these, you generally tend to have some left over. And I want to get a certain thickness on this one. It helps with the rigidity. We got to get these pretty close. Yeah, so just a little bit more. The ratio is pretty important. It's got to be pretty spot on. All right. Today we're going to do a technique that's called a dirty pour. And that's where you mix up the different colors separately, and then you pour them all into one cup. and just pour it and kind of see what happens. Now we have to do something first because of the hooks. The Quartercade, the tops attach via hooks. So we have to fill those hooks before we pour for the visual effect on the top. Because otherwise we'll be trying to fish out air bubbles while we already have like the top design going. And when we do that, that's going to mess up the design. So we got to do that first. So maybe before I start mixing here, I'll show you those hooks. I'll do that now. Let's see. Hold on. What's up, LB, man? All right, so these are the hooks that I'm talking about. It's kind of hard to orient on the camera. Everything seems to be in reverse. That's all right. We got all these little hooks here that we have in these holes in the mold. And so we got to fill those first. Yeah, we got to fill them and then fish out all the air bubbles out of them. So, all right, it is 3:07. So I got to mix this until 3:12. Yep, we chilling, man. Exactly. And this will actually like change color. So it'll go from like, it's called like having tails. You probably can't see it in the camera. But when we're done, it should be pretty clear. We got to scrape the edges and the bottom. And you can't stir it too fast either because it'll mix a bunch of air bubbles in there that you got to deal with later. So it's best to go slow. Yeah. That's pretty chill. I agree. I'm chilling too. Me and LB were boots on the ground yesterday, trying to get people to see if they would if they would let us do events at their venues, at their bar or at their restaurant. We got a pretty good reception, honestly. No one kicked us out. Yeah, I think it was a pretty fruitful day, really. So hopefully we'll be seeing stuff as a result of that. That'll be pretty cool. Get some more eyes on this. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more activity just from Kickstarter. Maybe Kickstarter is just not the place for physical hardware, but we hit our goals, so it worked out in the end. Yeah, it did. It went good, man. It was a good day yesterday, and it wasn't stressful either. At least not for me. It was pretty. It was. I say that. LB did most of the talking, so I just kind of stood there and tried to look like a normal person. So, yeah, it was a good day, man. Good receptions, really all around. 2 more minutes of this. Once again, I'm making sure to hit the sides, scrape the bottom. Oh, there's my mom in here. I see her. Hey, Ma. So we also got some good news from Last Benevolence, but I'll let him share that. It sounds like it's still in progress, so we'll see. But we got some more potential publicity that we might be able to get in on. So things are going good. I was a little discouraged by how things have slowed down on Kickstarter, but our other efforts seem to be bearing fruit, so that's nice. Do I have trouble with air bubbles? No, not really. The air bubbles are pretty not really an issue. You'll see that I'll hit them with a lighter to pop the ones that come to the surface. So yeah, the air bubbles shouldn't be too much of an issue at all. Yeah, Proto, man, I getting any traction online. We just haven't gotten any. In person, it seems to go great. But yeah, getting any kind of positive response online, it's been rough. It's been rough. So I don't know if I blame people. Maybe they see a lot of scammers, or there hasn't been a whole lot of disruptors in the video game console industry in a long time. Not really, I don't think. Except for maybe in handhelds. Handhelds, there's competition, but in the console market, there's just not a lot. And I think, man, if you're not Sony or PlayStation or Nintendo, like people just seem to not think it's possible or something. But that's not the case. All right. So we're doing mostly white today, and then we're going to do two other colors. And those two other colors are actually being mixed up made up of two colors each. So one of these I want to break and use to scoop the pigment powders from. So that's done. All right, we'll start with white, and then we'll fill our hook holes. This is a white pigment paste. I've noticed that pigment pastes tend to be more opaque, which is what we're going for today. And then we're going to put in some silver pigment powder as well. And so with the paste and the powder, it usually ends up pretty opaque, which is what we want here, today at least. So that's already pretty white. I might just go with that. I might leave the pigment. I might leave the, you know what? Actually, I do want to put the pigment powder in there, if nothing else, but for density. Because if the white layer is less dense than the other ones, then will just sink in there. So I'm trying to make sure that the white layer is more dense, and the pigment powder should help with that. So we're actually going to put a decent amount in there. But that pigment paste actually did a pretty good job of fully getting it white and not transparent. But now I just want to make sure it's denser than the other ones. I can't get this cap back on. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, it's weird. Let me read some of these. Let's see. Sonic Blast HQ. That's the forum, by the way. Usually is full of activity, but for some reason that place is a ghost town. I've been posting updates on the regular too. Yeah, we appreciate that, Proto. We see you doing that, man, and we appreciate it. The life of an ambassador, yeah, man. Absolutely. Once again, we appreciate it. And then, yeah, it's weird because you would think that because there's no console makers coming out, we'd have some more attention for standing out, but it's almost the opposite effect. I don't know, man. I don't know. I have no answers really. And we've talked about this before, but and maybe I just have the wrong guides. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong people, right? But everyone I see is like consoles are too expensive. The hardware upgrades, aren't really meaningful. The console exclusives, there aren't enough of them, and they're not that good. Right? So it's like this addresses all the problems. This is half the cost of a PS5, and half the price of an Xbox, and it gives you access to the PC environment, which has way more games and gets all the newest stuff before console does. And it's like, it's not another underpowered handheld that everyone complains about all the time. It's like, this is what everyone's asking for, and it's even cheaper than they're asking for it. So, but maybe we're also just expecting too much too fast, if that makes sense. We've only been at this since July. LB is going to laugh at me. He's like, I've been doing this for a year, man. He's like, I just brought you in July. I don't know. I don't know, last but Evans, when did you bring me in, man? How soon after you got started did you pull me into this? Yeah, we just need time to cook. Agreed. We need time to, things don't happen overnight, and maybe we're just expecting them to. But yeah, man, you think there'd be bigger names. There'd be bigger names vying for this space, man, but there aren't. All right, so now we're fishing out air bubbles. You can see one there. I'm actually going to move this there so I have room for my hand. So these are holes where the hooks go, and we got to make sure we get all the air out of them. Otherwise, they just end up being a big jagged mess. And probably won't work when you go to connect them to your Quartercade. So we actually have ideas for when we make new molds that should hopefully, depending on how things go, might make this not a thing anymore, but we'll see. 15 days? Yeah, 15 days after you started looking into it, you brought me in. That's pretty quick. Okay, so pretty much since July. And like I said, the Kickstarter is already fully funded, so we're sitting pretty in my book. It'd be cool if we could sell about 10 more, but it is what it is. And these are the ones right here that are the hardest, because it goes down and in at pretty much a right angle. All right. So now we're going to pop all these air bubbles just with a lighter. Of course, the wind picks up right as I do this. A torch would be way better, but once again, we're keeping things low budget for now. And you got to make sure you don't let this sit in any one spot, especially against white. It will discolor things a little bit. Residue from the gas burning, or just it heating up, whatever. Get attacked by flies out here. All right. So that's good for now. I'm not worried about it not hitting those edges at the moment. When we fill in more, it'll fill in good. That's enough for it to flow around. All right. So we're going to try some of this Torella that G-Lantern sent me. Once again, I really appreciate it, G-Lantern, man. I know you're not on, but if you see this later, thanks for sending the stuff, man. Let's see here. I don't know if you can see. Bring the cup into view here. It's a pretty nice color. Let's see. What do you guys think? You think that'll look good against the... It's kind of like marbled stripes in the white. I think it should look good. That's a really nice color, actually. Showing it more purple on the camera, but it's kind of a green and purple. Not dissimilar to the sushi roll that we have, but the sushi roll is more of a pearl and is more of a green and orange and blue. This is straight green and purple. It's pretty dark, so I might use it sparingly. when I mix it in. We'll just have to see. Let's see. Let's see if we can get the green, if you guys can see it. But Milo approves of that color. All right, man. It's a good one. Once again, thanks G-Lantern, man. He sent me a few more too. So, all right, and then now we have a green. There's the green. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Okay. I actually don't have a whole lot of white left in here. Maybe I put too much in the mold already. I'm not gonna worry about it though. We're just gonna actually probably let these sit for a little bit. If you let them cure a little bit, they don't mix as much, which is kind of nice. But you gotta let them sit and cure for just a little while. So we'll probably let those sit for just maybe 5 minutes. Oh, you can see that Torella on the stick. It's straight up purple. That's pretty cool. So while these are all sitting here, they'll heat up and start curing. And then when you mix them together, they'll just be less likely to mix together. I'm feeling the bottoms of the cups for how warm they are. All right. Yeah, DJ, when we go to that bar or even the donut shop, when we do those events, you got to get Dr. Quartercade to come with you, man. Have him in character, of course. Have Dr. Quartercade, you know. Yeah, for sure. Especially at the donut place. Maybe with the kids and stuff. I don't know. Is he good with kids? I'm not sure. But lab coat, we'll get some posters up. They said we could get some posters up, and we just kind of take over that area that they have with the projector and just stay there until it's time to move on to the bar if we can get them on the same day. I think that'd be good. Make it like he's a celebrity, you know what I mean? And then like occasionally maybe we could play the commercials up on the projector. I don't know. Something. Or maybe we bring the TV and run the commercials on the TV and then run the Quartercade on the projector. Yeah, we just pretend like he's already a celebrity, like it's a big deal. Yeah, run the commercials on the commercial on the TV, and then play the Quartercade on the projector. I think that'd be good. I think we should get a big cardboard cutout of him too, but I don't know I don't know where we'd start with that. All right, let's see. I kind of wish I had a laser thermometer so I could check the temperature of these, so I could like get a good idea of when is the best time to wait to mix them. Yeah, hit him up, man. Hit him up. I'm sure he'd be down. Have you had to do any reshoots with him at all? Or have you got the chance to do any reshoots with him, or just that one session? So right now I'm just getting the stuff that has fallen in here. All right, it's getting thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and all right. So we're going to pour this. We really don't have enough white here, so we're going to take it easy with this. We're just going to pour it like that. Okay, I'm just going to run that through it like this. And we're going to use even less of this, I think. Okay, same deal. It's a little bit of a spread there. Getting attacked by flies over here. All right, and now we just kind of go for it. I'm going to put this in its most even position, which is right there. All right, let's do it. And we've got more of the other ones, which I'm glad we got more of, because I'm going to reinforce those lines because I think they're going to sink. All right, let's look at chat here. So you just did it in one session. Yeah, that's good, man. To add to this, if y'all need any one of the characters I have for this, hit me up. I'll have other characters than just Milo for sure. That might be good, actually. Put Milo on a poster or something. We'll probably have to pick one, either Dr. Quartercade or Milo. At least for this moment, anyway. I'm gonna let this cook a little bit more so it kind of flows off the toothpick a little bit slower. And we're gonna reinforce some of these lines. I kind of wish I didn't do at the end the thinner lines here, but I think it'll work out. Or we'll make it work out. Milo and Quartercade, yeah, I like that. Yeah, false dichotomy. Why not do both? Why not both? That was my dad asking about the air bubbles earlier, but see what I mean, Dad? Like most air bubbles tend to work themselves out, and there's pretty much none on the top here. I see one or two, and we'll probably hit it with a torch again. But the air bubbles are kind of not an issue. The bad part is when you dip this whole thing. When you dip the whole torch in the resin, that's a mess. You just keep it moving. All right, so I'm not super impressed with how this is looking right now. So we're gonna add some to it and see if we can't get a look we like. I do like this color. That's nice. Oh, it just looks black on the camera, but I'm actually gonna move this down here. Let's see. So if that doesn't sink, that'll look nice. Yep. And maybe what I'll do is run the stick through it too, and make sure that line looks a little more natural. All right, I think we're going to try that now. We're just going to take this. We're going to run it. I don't know, against the white, it's just looking kind of black. Let me put my head in there. Yeah, it's just looking kind of black. I'm not sure what to do about that. Maybe nothing. It's almost like the... So maybe we'll try the other green. These are pretty warm now. All right, I don't want to overwork this. Now that I see all that nice, it looks, I think, kind of looks better on camera a little bit. We're gonna kind of feather this a little bit. Mix it with the white. Here's a fly that is absolutely badgering me. All right. I think we'll kind of go for that effect, honestly, where we kind of try and get a... We run it through, try and get a ripple of all three colors next to each other. That color shift Torella was pretty cool, but I don't know, when we put it in there, it just kind of just turned black. I wonder if all the other colors just sunk. So we're going to add this green and make it more dominant. And I don't want to overwork it. You can already see like the color bleeding into the white over here and here and here. And if we overwork it, it'll just turn to mush. So I think what we're going to do is just do one more here. And then we're going to run All right, guys. That's certainly better. How much did you miss? Yeah, about 45 minutes, man. We're just about done. Um, just about done. I don't think me messing with this is going to help much more, honestly. I'm not terribly in love with this one the way it is, but you never know. Sometimes after it sits for a while and after it does its thing, it turns out better. This was supposed to be the marble that was requested. We'll see how it turns out, man. What do you think? I don't know. It's a little messy. I might need to try another one. Let's see. This corner is a little barren. I might try and put more of this in here. I was really relying on this stuff. G-Lantern, this is your Torella, but when it's put against the white, I mean, it looks real nice there. I probably can't see it too well on camera. It probably just looks black, but it's like a nice purple green. You're probably familiar with it, but I don't know. Once it hits that white, it shows up purple and green there for a second, and then it just kind of just turns black. Need the lines spread out a bit. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Maybe we'll give this a mix. Maybe we'll give it a spin. Let's give it a spin. Let's see. Let me line this back up where it's good. I think that did absolutely nothing. So this one might be a wash, but the good thing is when they don't turn out the way I like or good enough, I turn them into a different style of top. So if the resin doesn't turn out good, I paint them. So there's the other one that I painted. So they don't go to waste. This one probably won't go to production. I feel like this one has kind of a weird weakness, specifically in the middle. I tried to use like a weird applying the dye directly without mixing it in there, and I think that weakened the center of this. And so I don't think this one will go to production. So I've just been practicing with it, but working on my paint lines. And so yeah, if this one doesn't turn out, then we'll turn it into something else, you know. But it's been a while, guys. Yeah, I think we'll call it here. And like I said, if this doesn't turn out good, we will turn it into something else cool. So I think it needs more small striations for that. It's white space heavy. White space heavy. Okay. Is there a way to smear the lines out like they look thin and deep? Still looks good. Thin and deep. So I'm not sure. I thought spinning it might give it a good way, but I don't know. I feel like if we play with it too much, it'll just turn into some homogeneous thing, but I can try it. Thin and deep. So I can try and spread these out. I think it'll lose the marble though. Looking a little better already. All right. So we'll try and thin out the color. That's what everyone's saying. So I'll keep going. Move the color into the white areas. All right, let's see here. The only area I don't like at this point is the corner with the black M. Okay, let's see. Sister says stop. Let's see. Sister says stop. The only area I don't like at this point is the corner with the black M that you just fixed. Okay, as I wrote that. All right. So I think I'll leave it. I do agree. I think that looks better, guys. I appreciate that. So we'll leave it and we'll show it next time, and we'll take a vote on if we keep it or if we turn it into something else. But all right, guys, I'm going to call it here. Appreciate you joining, and once again, check out the Quartercade on Kickstarter, and I guess that's it. It's nice talking to you. I will see you guys next week. Next week is Thursday at 5. And that's about it. No problem, D-Lantern. There's no late, man. Show up when you're ready, man. All good. All right, guys. See you next week, Thursday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I see a bunny kissing a dog. All right, bye, guys.